Srimad Bhagavatam Introduction Part 2. A short sketch of the life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya, the preacher of Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great apostle of love of God and the father of the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord, advented himself at Sri Dham Mayapur, a quarter in the city of Navadvipa in Bengal, on the Falguni Purnima evening in the year 1407 Shakabda, corresponding to February 1486 by the Christian calendar. His father, Sri Jagannatha Mishra, a learned Brahmana from the district of Sylhet, came to Navadvipa as a student because at that time Navadvipa was considered to be the center of education and culture. He domiciled on the banks of the Ganges after marrying Srimati Shachi Devi, a daughter of Srila Neelambar Chakravarti, the great learned scholar of Navadvipa. Jagannatha Mishra had a number of daughters by his wife Srimati Shachi Devi, and most of them expired at an early age. Two surviving sons, Sri Vishwarupa and Vishwambhara, became at last the object of their parental affection. The 10th and youngest son, who was named Vishwambhara, later became known as Nimai Pandita, and then, after accepting the renounced order of life, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his transcendental activities for 48 years and then disappeared in the year 1455 Shakabda at Puri. For his first 24 years, he remained at Navadvipa as a student and householder. His first wife was Srimati Lakshmi Priya, who died at an early age when the Lord was away from home. When he returned from East Bengal, he was requested by his mother to accept a second wife, and he agreed. His second wife was Srimati Vishnupriya Devi, who bore the separation of the Lord throughout her life because the Lord took the order of sannyasa at the age of 24 when Srimati Vishnupriya was barely 16 years old. After taking sannyasa, the Lord made his headquarters at Jagannath Puri due to the request of his mother Srimati Shachi Devi. The Lord remained for 24 years at Puri. For 6 years of this time, he travelled continuously all over India and especially throughout southern India preaching the Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya not only preached the Srimad Bhagavatam but propagated the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita as well in the most practical way. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna is depicted as the absolute personality of Godhead, and his last teachings in that great book of transcendental knowledge instruct that one should give up all the modes of religious activities and accept him, Lord Sri Krishna, as the only worshipable Lord. The Lord then assured that all his devotees would be protected from all sorts of sinful acts and that for them there would be no cause for anxiety. Unfortunately, despite Lord Sri Krishna's direct order and the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, less intelligent people misunderstand him to be nothing but a great historical personality, and thus they cannot accept him as the original personality of Godhead. Such men with a poor fund of knowledge are misled by many non-devotees. Thus the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita were misinterpreted even by great scholars. After the disappearance of Lord Sri Krishna, there were hundreds of commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita by many erudite scholars, and almost every one of them was motivated by self-interest. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the self-same Lord Sri Krishna. This time, however, he appeared as a great devotee of the Lord in order to preach to the people in general as well as to religionists and philosophers about the transcendental position of Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord and the cause of all causes. The essence of his preaching is that Lord Sri Krishna, who appeared at Vrajabhumi, Vrindavana, as the son of the king of Vraja, Nanda Maharaja, is the supreme personality of Godhead and is therefore worshipable by all. Vrindavana Dhama is non-different from the Lord because the name, fame, form and place where the Lord manifests himself are all identical with the Lord as absolute knowledge. Therefore, Vrindavana Dhama is as worshipable as the Lord. The highest form of transcendental worship of the Lord was exhibited by the damsels of Vrajabhumi in the form of pure affection for the Lord, and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends this process as the most excellent mode of worship. He accepts the Srimad Bhagavatam Purana as the spotless literature for understanding the Lord, and he preaches that the ultimate goal of life for all human beings is to attain the stage of prema or love of God. Many devotees of Lord Chaitanya like Srila Vrindavana Dasa Thakura, Sri Lochana Dasa Thakura, Srila Krishna Dasa Kaviraj Goswami, Sri Kavikarnapura, Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, and in this latter age within 200 years, Sri Vishwanatha Chakravarti, Sri Baladeva Vidya Bhushana, Sri Shyamananda Goswami, Sri Narottama Dasa Thakura, Sri Bhaktivedanta Thakura, and at last Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, our spiritual master, and many other great and renowned scholars and devotees of the Lord have prepared voluminous books and literatures on the life and precepts of the Lord. Such literatures are all based on the Shastras like the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and other histories and authentic literatures approved by the recognized Acaryas. They are unique in composition and unrivaled in presentation, and they are full of transcendental knowledge. Unfortunately, the people of the world are still ignorant of them, but when these literatures, which are mostly in Sanskrit and Bengali, come to light the world, and when they are presented before thinking people, then India's glory and the message of love will overflood this morbid world, which is vainly searching after peace and prosperity by various illusory methods not approved by the Acharyas in the chain of disciplic succession. The readers of this small description of the life and precepts of Lord Chaitanya will profit much to go through the books of Srila Vrindavana Dasa Thakura, who has written Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata, and Srila Krishna Dasa Kaviraja Goswami, who has written Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. The early life of the Lord is most fascinatingly expressed by the author of Chaitanya Bhagavata, and as far as the teachings are concerned, they are more vividly explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now they are available to the English-speaking public in our book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. The Lord's early life was recorded by one of his chief devotees and contemporaries, namely Srila Murari Gupta, a medical practitioner of that time. And the latter part of the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was recorded by his private secretary, Sri Damodara Goswami, or Srila Swarupa Damodara, who was practically a constant companion of the Lord at Puri. These two devotees recorded practically all the incidents of the Lord's activities, and later on all the books dealing with the Lord, which are above mentioned, were composed on the basis of kadachas, notebooks, by Srila Damodara Goswami and Murari Gupta.